Hello, this is Professor Jack. We are covering Chapter 2. And Chapter 2 is Cultural Diversity, Family Strengths, and Challenges. So thank you for being tonight here with me one more time. Okay, this is your second chapter. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cover this. Differentiate between race, ethnicity, and culture. What is race versus what is ethnicity? What is culture? And find any similarities between race and ethnicity, and differentiate between the two, and also differentiate between the three, right? So that's kind of your assignment there, right? Just for you to know what to study. And so we have the U.S. Census classification, 100 years of U.S. Census, right? Allows you to see the different ethnicities and races. On this previous slide, you were able to see the evolution of racial classification over the past decades, from 1890 to 1990. However, as decades pass, you are able to see how the intermixing of races occur over the years, right? And one curiosity is, the first one is, Latinos were not properly represented as an ethnic group. Were they somehow aggregated to the white or the black race in the previous slide? Like in the previous slide that I showed you, were they then considered white or black? 150 years ago, 100 years ago? What do you think? It's kind of a question, really. Not one that requires an answer, though, okay? Racial classifications and the meaning of race. Perhaps you should go ahead and read these three findings that I have. First of all, race is defined by perceived skin color, white or non-white. While one category exists for whites who vary considerably in actual skin color and physical appearance, all of the remaining categories are considered non-white, okay? Second, racial purity is only assumed to exist. And third, categories of official racial classifications may over time create a sense of group membership or consciousness of kind. So, I want you to go ahead and study this slide more profoundly. Here are the 6 racial classifications known. I mean, you have those 6 racial classifications, or ethnic classifications, if you want to say. So let's talk about the strengths of each of these racial or ethnic classifications. And I'm going to go one by one, okay? And so it's going to go ahead and, just focus on the strengths, not on the weaknesses, just the strengths, okay? We're going to go ahead and start with white, okay? And, before we get there, let's go ahead and talk about, say that, these strengths, cultural traits that they share are cohesion, flexibility, and communication, right? Into understanding the strengths, okay? And then let's go ahead and get into the first slide, white families. Strengths. Commitment to commitment to the family, enjoyable time spent together is another strength. The ability to manage stress and crisis effectively. Spiritual well-being, positive communication, appreciation, and affection for each other. Okay, those are strengths for white families. For African American families, strengths. Strong kinship bonds, strong work orientation, flexibility in family roles, strong motivation to achieve, a strong religious orientation, caring parenting, and egalitarian marriages would be some of these strengths for African Americans. How about for Latinos? Strong familialism, high family cohesion, high family flexibility, a supportive kin network system, equalitarian decision making, and a strong ethnic identity. I mean, these are strengths for Latino families, right? And then we also going to talk about Asian families. Strong family orientation, filial piety, a high value of education, well-disciplined children, extended family support, and family loyalty would be some of the strengths for our Asian American families. For our American Indian families, or Native American families, strengths would include an extended family system, traditional beliefs, high family cohesion, respect for elders, bilingual language skills, and a tribal support system, okay? So those are some strengths there, right? We're not focusing on the weaknesses, just the strengths for each of these families. Variables among ethnic groups. There are variables that vary among ethnic groups. We will associate some of the following characteristics as we study family in relation to their ethnicities. Kin relationships, gender roles, parental struggles, okay? So go ahead and study this slide very well. I may ask you questions on the test, on the midterm, and please consider this slide greatly. You may go back and also read your text if you want more overall understanding, okay? Intercultural marriage issues. Intercultural marriages can be challenging for families. In the U.S., intercultural or interracial can also be the source of considerable learning and personal growth. These issues of assimilation, acculturation, and segregation must be faced by these families. So, interracial families, we're going to have a case study in about a couple of seconds, minutes. The case study of honey, and it's also a PowerPoint slide that I have there available for you for the same week. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and do it in a couple of seconds here. But first, I want to go, this is kind of an interim, halfway point, okay? This is me right here. Thank you very much, okay? And we also going to go ahead and try to cover the essay in this same presentation and see how we go with that, right? So let's go ahead and study the story of honey, titled Cultural Ancestries. First, from the maternal side of the family. This is grandma. Her name is Lisa, age 55, okay? Her nationality is Korean. She immigrated to the U.S. That's all you need to know from her. And this is Epo, and Epo is 58, and his nationality is Nigerian, but he immigrated to the United States, okay? All right, that's all you need to know from him, okay? And let's see, Epo and Lisa met in college in 1980. They became romantically involved, and a year later, they married in 1984. They married. In 1984, Melissa was born, okay? Okay, that's all you need to know from her, and this is Melissa, 23. Her nationality is American, okay? And that's all you need to know from her, okay? But this is what you do need to know from the maternal side of the family. That a Korean woman and a Nigerian man got romantically involved, and whether they married or not, they produce this American, nice American lady. Korean, Nigerian, American lady, right? Okay, from the paternal side of the family. Her name is Seth, age 50. Nationality is Saudi Arabian, but immigrated to the United States, became legal, right? And then she met this gentleman. His name is Bob, a.k.a. Bubba, age 73. Nationality, he's Spanish, from Spain, not Spanish from Mexico, okay? And he immigrated to the United States as well, okay? And you have his little story there you don't need to know, okay? But Seth and Bob accidentally met in 1975 at a postal office. Bob, already in his early 40s, fell in love with Seth at first glance. Immediately, he frequented her often, and the naive teenager commenced a relationship which ended in marriage by the end of 1975. And they got together. They produced this nice guy, nice gentleman. His name is Bobby, age 25. His nationality, American, U.S., right? And the status of Bobby, well, you don't need to know the status, right? I mean, not so much into his personal life. But what you do need to know is that he is dating Melissa, right? Oh, anyways, this Arab lady, Seth, and this Spanish guy, his name is Bob, both got married, or they got together, and they produced this nice young guy. And Bobby, and he is Arab Spanish American, or should I say Spanish Arab American? That's kind of confusing, right? So let's see, these two met, these two young guys met, and they then had a baby, right? And this is the baby. Now, Arab, Spanish, Korean, Nigerian, American, all these ancestries. Okay, so nothing more I'm going to say. Let's go ahead and get into the essay, because you have an essay to write, remember? And for this first essay, you need to know the case study of honey, right? The case study that I just presented to you, right? So it goes in parts, right? Essay 1, the multiracial family. After watching the multiracial family presentation, identify honey's race or ethnicity. And part 1, select her racial identification. Will you consider her Spanish American, Nigerian American, Arab American, or Korean American? Or maybe multiracial, but then explain. Or maybe just other. You actually want to go ahead and mix the ancestries and call her Arab Spanish American. Explain, please, explain. Please do explain. Now, part 2, explain why you determined for honey to be identified by this race ethnic label of yours. Explain to me. I do not agree with you, Mr. Professor Jack, but I have this other label. Okay, but then explain that. Anyways, thank you very much for your time. This is Professor Jack. Bye-bye.